Georgia,
oh my goodness. All right, welcome everybody to On Tap Sports, the channel where we cover all the sports all the time. And let's just get right into it. Can't believe this game. A lot of things that I can't believe about it. Georgia's possessions, let's just go over them. Punt, missed field goal, punt, end of half, interception, field goal, punt, end of game. Not a lot of scoring there. Not a lot of sustained drives. Clemson's possessions, even worse. Punt. Sounds like a song. Interception for a touchdown, obviously the big key play of the game. Punt again, so 4 straight punts twice. And field goal and downs. That's it. 3 points for Clemson, 10 points for Georgia. And only 3 of those coming off of offense. 2 things I did not think I would say after this game was over. Number 1, that Clemson lost a season opener. They just never do, to be honest with you. I live right by Clemson. I'm obviously a Michigan fan. And I have to hear about Clemson a lot, and they don't lose these games very often. Although last year, it's starting to become a little bit more of a trend for them. They lost to Ohio State last year, they lost to Notre Dame last year, and they lost in the championship game to LSU. So it's been a minute since they won that big game. Now they get to roll through the ACC, but that is what it is. And again, as I've always said, that's not their fault. That's not their problem. Number 2 is that I didn't think I'd say that the final score was 10-3. I said the final score of this game was going to be 28-24 Clemson, and 10-3. Yeah, that was just beyond me. I thought DJ was going to play a little bit better, and I believed and took Dabo's word for it that his offensive line was very much improved. We'll get into that, but I don't know if he was telling the truth there, or at least he may have just thought they were, and they were not. Let's talk about the few good things that Clemson did, and in correspondence with that, what Georgia didn't do well. The Clemson good was their defense. Absolutely their defense. JT Daniels was 22 for 30 for 135 yards. So 22 for 30, that's not bad accuracy at all, but he only had 4.5 yards per completion. Couldn't really move the ball upfield. Clemson didn't allow it. They were very stingy in that regard. He didn't have any touchdowns. He did throw an interception. So yeah, very good against the pass in the secondary. We figured that was going to be the case for Clemson. They return a lot on defense, and we knew up front they were going to be very, very good. The question mark was going to be the secondary, if there was any question mark there, as they got torched against Ohio State last season, obviously, in the playoffs. But they were astounding today. Very good. Only 121 yards rushing for Georgia on 31 carries. That's 3.9 yards per carry. Georgia, I can promise you, is going to do much more damage to teams that they play throughout the season than that. Maybe outside of Alabama and maybe Florida. I don't know. I doubt it, though. I think they'll do more damage against Florida than that. We went over the possessions. Georgia's possessions were ugly on offense. Clemson's going to run the table off of defense alone. I'm going to tell you that. From here on out, Clemson will run the table. They're not going to lose an ACC game. I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but they're going to have to score some here and there or whatever. Teams like North Carolina, if they get to the ACC championship game and all that stuff. It's not going to happen, man. Clemson's going to win the ACC off of defense alone, and Dabo's not going to allow them to lose another game. Unfortunately, we're going to see Clemson in the playoffs again, I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you're a Clemson fan, if you're a Georgia fan, if you're a college football fan in general, can Clemson make it back? Can they run the table? The consensus was that they were going to prior to what you may have seen tonight, so we'll see. I think they're going to, because they only gave up 3 points to a Georgia offense that's not prolific by any means, but I can promise you they're going to score some points this season. They're not going to look like they did today against most teams. That Clemson defense is really good, man. Zamir White and James Cook, they're among the best running back tandems in the entire nation, and they held both of those guys pretty much in check. The only guy for Georgia that had a decent day at the receiving end was Bowers. He had 6 receptions for 43 yards, so that's not even a great game either in itself. Again, I feel like I'm bragging on Clemson too much. Don't worry, Georgia. You're about to get your hype. And I just want to get what Clemson did do well out of the way. JT Daniels, he threw for 300 yards in 3 of his 6 starts last season. That's pretty good. That shows you what he is capable of once he starts to catch fire. Clemson didn't allow that today. And the number 2 thing that Clemson did well today is Justyn Ngata looked good. 6 receptions for him, 110 yards, 18.3 yards per reception. He was a good threat and earned his. I like what he did today. That's about it. That's all you did well today. Pretty much everything else went wrong, to be honest with you. Georgia's bad. We already kind of went over it. You're not going to see many defenses like Clemson's, but you have to learn to sustain drives. You got to get better on offense, and you got to learn how to snap necks when you have the opportunity when you play against teams that are going to take advantage of it or do a little bit better job than what Clemson did tonight in taking advantage of it. When you got elite, man, there were so many times today where I was like, is Clemson going to come back in this game? Because I really don't think that they would have deserved to get the win if they did. And Georgia just was not just snapping on their neck. They needed to finish it. And hopefully, as the season progresses, they can learn how to break the team mentally and physically and just break their will completely once they have that opportunity. Because Clemson gave them plenty of opportunities. We went over the possessions that they had. Georgia had the opportunity to do it over and over and over again and never really did. Their offense struggled. That's also a credit to Clemson's defense, but still, I'm saying, you got to take advantage of some opportunities. And too many penalties, 10 for 94, you got to clean that up, obviously. Now, that's all the good for Clemson, all the bad for Georgia. Let's talk about the 5 biggest reasons why Georgia won this game and why Clemson lost this game, in order from least important to most important. Number 5, Clemson shot themselves in the foot every single time that they even sniffed Georgia's territory or got into it. They literally had penalties at the wrong time, mistakes at the wrong time, sacks given up at the wrong time that took them out of field goal range or even range to be able to think about going forward on 4th. They shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. You can't beat yourselves when you're already playing against a number 5 team in the nation. You can't continue to help them and aid them out in that regard. Georgia earned everything today. They earned a lot, but at the same time, Clemson did do some bonehead things that really cost them, in my opinion. Number 4, if you're Georgia, you didn't let Justyn Ross get loose. You let Joseph Ngata get his. Is it Ngata or Ngata? Because I feel like Herbstreit was saying Ngata, but I thought it was Ngata. Pronunciations aren't my thing on this channel, I'll tell you that. You let Joseph get his, but you didn't let anyone else, particularly Justyn Ross, go crazy. You avoided giving up the big play. Very good job there. Number 3, Georgia never wavered. They never faltered. Again, over and over again, I was like, Clemson's going to do this, man. Clemson's going to come back. But their defense continued to answer the call. They did not give anything up. Outside of that one big play out of DJ Uiagalelei where his man got loose. Other than that, I can't really recall a play where Georgia absolutely faltered. They continued to stay strong. I was nervous for them. I really was. I thought Clemson was going to, find that lucky charm tonight, but they never did, and Georgia has a lot to say about that. Number 2, Clemson's O-line was dog water. Absolute hot garbage. I know that Dabo Swinney said that they were much improved in the offseason. Maybe he was just being nice. Maybe he was just being kind to his team and especially to his O-line. They were not good. They're not good. And we're going to get into it. Don't worry, Georgia fans. I'm going to give the credit to your front 7, but at the same time, I think it's pretty alarming what we saw out of Clemson's offensive line today. They didn't look improved to me at all. And they're going to look improved against an ACC schedule, but what are they going to do when they're playing against the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the apparently Georgias of the world? Man, I really wish I would have finished out that video. I had a video where I had Georgia. I said that they were going to lose this game to Clemson, so I got that wrong. But I thought they were going to run the table from there, including an SEC championship win against Alabama. I really think they're that good on defense this year. And to be honest with you, they were even better than I thought tonight. Way better than I thought. I already thought they were good, too. DJ held the ball way too long. That goes along with number 2. Uiagalelei held the ball way too long. I think it's too early to give him the Deshaun and the Trevor comparisons and status. He's not earned that yet, and we thought he was capable of it, and I still do think he's capable of it, but he's clearly not there just yet when he has to play against a good foe in the Georgia Bulldogs. 19 of 37 today, only 178 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and the 1 interception was the costly one that was pretty much the deciding touchdown, the deciding factor of the game. And the number 1 reason why Georgia won this game, you guessed it, it's simple. Their front 7 is as good as advertised and that much more. They are phenomenal. Unbelievable. Let's go over this. 7 sacks for the Georgia Bulldogs. 7 sacks. This is against Clemson. This isn't Charlotte. Or, well, I guess Charlotte's pretty good. They beat Duke, huh? This isn't UMass. This is Clemson. 7 sacks, uncountable quarterback hurries, 23 carries for Clemson for 2 yards. And yes, DJ was 14 of those, and there were sacks and stuff like that. He only had negative 22 yards. But who cares? That counts. Counts on the stat line. You stop them. They only got 2 yards rushing the ball. 0.1 yards per carry if you're Clemson. And if you're Clemson, what are you doing? What are you doing? There's a big knock on Clemson tonight. The coaching staff, the offensive game plan, not very good. Your running backs, your actual running backs, only got 9 carries. And I kept looking at the score. I'm like, it's 10-3. It's 10-0. It's 10-3. Like, am I looking at the wrong score here? Are there still 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter? Why are they just abandoning the run altogether, especially in one of DJ's first ever career starts? One of his first starts. I just didn't get it. 9 carries for your running backs. That's it. That's it. Didn't see much of Will Shipley. Wanted to really see him. As a freshman, he was supposed to be a stud. I think he's going to be, obviously. But didn't get to see what he could possibly do. Didn't get to see Lyn-J Dixon much at all. DJ threw the ball 37 times. Again, I repeat, it was a 10-point ball game at the most. At the most. And you didn't run the ball with your guys who are designed to run the ball. You went with DJ instead, passing the ball left and right. And it's a big reason why you lost. Among many. I covered them. Clemson loses the game again. I think they're going to run the table. And as I said, I think Georgia's going to run the table. I think both of these teams might just meet again in the future. And I think it's going to be a little bit more high scoring next time around. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We got reactions all the time on here. Next week, we're going to have funny comedy videos. I'm going to do how Ohio State and Michigan fans watched week 1 games. It's going to be a comedy video, kind of Scooter McGruder style. Should be good. Hope you guys subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you later. What an amazing Saturday, man. Good Saturday. Great to have football back. Go Blue, baby. We crushed Western Michigan. They suck.